All right. So what I'd like to do is bring on Mike to share his experience with the method here. So Mike, are you here?
I'm here, Daryl. How's it going?
Awesome. I'm doing really well. So thanks for joining, by the way.
Sure
But
thing.
yeah, let's just jump right into it. First question I have for you is before you got started doing something like this, did you have any experience trading before? And why was this ultimately something that you wanted to do?
Well, I had a little bit of experience. I mean, if going back to college, I was in a finance class where they had us do kind of mock investments. It wasn't nothing live. So I dabbled in it a little bit there. But for most of my career, like most other people, it's been the 401k, right? And then from prior jobs that I left, I rolled money into an IRA. I just let somebody else handle that. But every so often, I would take a little bit of money because I'd get, maybe I'll try investing on my own a little, open a brokerage and throw money into something like Nvidia or something that's high flying. But I wasn't buying and selling. I was just putting the money in and letting it be. I didn't want to sell it because I was worried if I sell it, I got to pay taxes, right? So I, if it went past a year, I was fine with that. So that it was kind of hands off. The reason I got into this to begin with is just to secure a better future, more income, better retirement, maybe retire early if it leads to that.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that. So very limited experience, no rhyme and reason, kind of just throwing darts at the wall, basically. Second question I have for you is, what would you say to somebody who's never done this before and figures they're just not the type of person who actually could do something like this? Was this like something that was easy enough for you to do?
Yeah, I think it actually was. I think the biggest thing is getting over a lot of the myths. There's this myth that you have to be good with numbers, or you got to know the stock market, you got to know the business ins and outs. A lot of people don't have business acumen, and they're thinking, well, I can't invest in that. Just let somebody else handle it for me. You don't have to be gifted. You have to have a system. You have to have a framework. It's like anything else. If you go to the gym and you start working out, you buy a gym membership. If you don't have, hey, this is what I'm going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you don't have that program and you just walk in, what do? You're just going to throw weights around. You're not going to get very far. And it's the same thing like with anything in life. You learn, that you don't predict the market. You don't chase after hype. You don't panic when things dip. You don't try to time everything perfectly. You don't need to know everything. You need to know actually what matters. And you filter out all the noise. Because I have friends that invest and they listen to everybody on TV, they read every article, and one's telling them to invest in something and the other person's saying don't invest into it. So the main thing is to have a system in place and to just follow that system.
Thanks for sharing that. In one moment, I'm gonna go ahead and share some of the results that you actually shared to me. But I want you to go explain what we're looking at here, and talk through your first win and how that has progressed over time, whether you're able to consistently make wins and so forth.
Yeah, so I had actually I have two accounts that I invest with. I have a regular brokerage account that it's money that I can touch. And I have an IRA. It's just leftover money from an old 401k. I rolled it into an IRA. Um, and that one is, obviously tax free, so but I can't touch the money. So the very first thing I did, it was back in 20, let's say probably early 2025. I bought some stock, some of the big names, Nvidia, Meta, things like that. I just bought a few shares of each, and I sort of let it sit there. And then later on, probably around, I think it was August, 2025 is when I got into Long Wealth Capital and started to learn a little bit and decided, okay, I'm going to start actually selling some of these now that they've made some gains and then buying and selling and continuing down that road. So I just do it in between both accounts. I started out with, geez, I don't even remember what I started out with. I think maybe 40,000, $50,000 in the money that I could touch. The IRA, I think, had maybe 150,000 in it. And I didn't invest all of that at once. I mean, it was just a little here, a little there. I'd buy a couple stocks and ride them out and just sort of learn the system. And so far, I mean, over the course of from September of last year till now, I've probably gotten 96 trades overall. And out of 96 trades, I had one loss and 94, 95 gains.
Beautiful. So how long did it take for each position? Do you think you estimate for each individual trade? Did it take a couple weeks? Did it take a couple days?
Yeah, I was just looking at that actually recently. I think my average wait time was maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I think it was thereabouts. I mean, I had some that I turned around a couple within a day or two. It just happened to hit. But then I've had others like Comcast. I sat on that one for quite a while. We're talking maybe 3 months before it finally turned around. But it's a patience game. You know, you just have to kind of wait it out. And like I said earlier, don't panic. Wait till things return and let the prices come to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And the last question I have for you is for the folks listening here, would you say that this was worth something to do? And do you recommend this to your family and friends?
Yeah, I actually do. I have recommended it. I recommended it to friends. I've recommended to. I have a couple stepsons, and they get into investing on their own. They're young. They're like 20, 21 years old. But like I was maybe when I was probably younger, looking for that quick hit, trying to chase the ones that are flying high. And I keep trying to tell them, you know, a better way to do it. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. I got friends that are the same way. I would absolutely recommend it though. Ease of use is the system doesn't dumb it down. It makes it so it finally makes sense. You know, why did you do the things that you do? There's no 200-page PDF. There's nothing like that. It's broken down and very easy to use step by step. Your videos were great. It assumes you're smart, but not experienced, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Well, Mike, your gains have been amazing. I can't wait to see how this progresses throughout all the years that you're going to continue to trade moving forward. But yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
looking
us,
forward.
and we'll just continue on.